July 4th, 2025. Let the sparks fly. Cara's 4th of July party is the kind of backyard bash that makes you wish that summer would never end. Her house is decked out in full patriotic flair, many American flags lining the walkway and a balloon arch in star-spangled colors framing the entrance for that perfect photo op. She is inviting the following guests: Michelle, Liz, Tanya and Nicole, Craig and Maria, Christina and Bill, and Chris. In the backyard, she's created a festive oasis. String lights with tiny stars crisscross overhead, casting a warm glow as the sun sets. There are tables covered in checkerboard tablecloths, mason jars filled with wildflowers and mini flags, and a bar with lemonade, iced tea, and a signature watermelon margarita in a glass dispenser. A few cozy lounge areas with outdoor rugs and throw pillows give guests a place to relax and have light conversation. To go along with the American tradition, Gionni is taking care of the grilling. The grill is fired up with burgers, hot dogs, and fries sizzling away. There's a topping bar with everything from pickles to pineapple, and sides like fries, grilled corn, and watermelon wedges. For dessert, they have the option of a flag cake, popsicles, and s'mores ready for the fire pit. When the night falls, Gianni's got fireworks ready to go. Rockets, comets, crucettes, ground spinners, smoke bombs, sparklers, and a couple of firework assortment packages which contain 10 to 15 different things to launch. Liz is the first one to arrive. She is standing in the doorway holding her macaroni salad tightly. After a tough night with Michael, she is looking to just relax and have a fun holiday with her friends. Liz is wearing a long red and white striped dress with a denim jacket draped across her shoulders and white Converse. As Cara hears the doorbell, she places the glow stick she's carrying on the dining room table and heads over to greet Liz. "Hey Liz, you look beautiful," Cara smiles, opening the door. Liz hands her a macaroni salad with no hesitation. "Thank you. Happy 4th, she says. She gives Cara a small hug as they head into the mansion. As they step into the backyard, Liz's eyes widen with excitement at the festive decorations and the scent of grilling meats wafting from the grill area. They head up the stairs to the deck area where the grills are set up and the bar is fully stocked. "Wow, Cara, you really outdid yourself this year. This place looks amazing," Liz exclaimed. Cara sets down Liz's dish on the patio table. "Thank you, honey. Can I get you something to drink while we wait for the others?" she asks. "Sure, I love a watermelon margarita," Liz asks eagerly, looking at the drink station with curiosity. "Coming right up," Cara grinned and handed the drink to her friend with a proud smile. "Perfect, thanks." Liz takes a sip and sighs contentedly. Cara mixes a watermelon margarita for herself and then takes a seat at the table with Liz. "So, how's everything been at home?" she sighs, striking up a conversation. Liz takes a gulp of her drink and breathes deeply. "Not so good," she says, a hand on her heart. "Things have been really tense with Michael since he found out about the separation. He's been really threatening and scary to me and the kids." "Oh no!" Cara covered her mouth in shock. She places a gentle hand on Liz's. "I'm so sorry to hear that, honey." Liz wipes a tear from her eye. "I just wonder sometimes if I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to regret this decision later, but at the end of the day, I know what's best for me and my kids." Cara nodded sympathetically, taking a moment to gather her thoughts before responding. "Honey, there's no shame in protecting yourself and your children from someone toxic. You're doing what's best for everyone in the long run," she squeezed Liz's hand. "You're strong, and you've made the right decision for your safety and happiness. Don't doubt that." Liz nodded slowly, taking in Cara's wise words. She knew deep down that she was doing the right thing, but the doubt and fear still haunted her at times. I know, it's just scary. He used to be so loving and kind, but over the years he changed. And now he's not the same person I fell in love with." She took another sip of her drink, trying to steady her nerves. Cara nodded understandingly. "That's common, unfortunately. Abuse and toxic behavior can slowly creep into a relationship and change a person over time. It's important to remember that you're not responsible for his actions, and you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness." She reached out and squeezed Liz's hand. "You have a strong support system, honey. You're doing the right thing, and we'll all be here to help you every step of the way," she smiled reassuringly. Liz smiled back weakly, feeling a little bit more reassured. "Thanks, Cara. I just worry about my kids, you know? I don't want them growing up with the same toxic patterns I did." She takes a deep breath, looking off towards the horizon. "I just want them to grow up happy and healthy, surrounded by love," she says, her voice betraying a hint of vulnerability. Cara's face softened with compassion. "Of course. Your children are lucky to have such a strong, caring mother who is willing to make sacrifices to protect them. You're setting a great example for them by standing up for yourself and not putting up with toxic behavior." she said, putting a hand on Liz's shoulder reassuringly. They will grow up knowing how to recognize red flags and form healthy relationships because of you. I'm so sorry if I'm ruining the moment at your party, Cara. I just don't know what to do anymore. I've been going through a tough time at home, trying to keep the kids happy and my mental health in a good place. But it's just been hard. I'm glad I have people in my life I can talk to. Otherwise, I would be considering unaliving myself, she says with her head down. Thank you so much for your advice and for listening, she nodded slowly. Cara's expression softened with empathy. Oh, honey, don't you dare apologize. You're not ruining anything. Your friendship and well-being are far more important than any party. She reached out to touch Liz's hand gently. It's perfectly okay to lean on your friends during tough times. I'm here to listen and support you, Cara continued, her voice full of understanding and love. You don't have to go through this alone, Liz. We're here for you no matter what. She gave Liz a warm smile. And please know that you have so much to live for. You have your kids, your friends, and a whole community that cares about you. You're stronger than you know, honey. Liz smiled back weakly, feeling the weight on her shoulders lift just a little. She knew Cara was right, and she had a whole support system behind her. Thanks, Cara, she said softly. I don't know what I'd do without friends like you. Cara smiled back, giving Liz a comforting squeeze on the arm. You're never alone, honey. We're in this together. Thanks, Cara, Liz sniffled softly. I appreciate your support so much. You have no idea. As Liz finished speaking, Cara's twinkling eyes met with hers. She glanced through the side doors and down the hallway for a moment as she heard the doorbell. Cara patted Liz on the back softly before getting up. I'll be right back, she said as she headed towards the door. Liz nodded, taking a deep breath and sipping her drink as she watched Cara head down to the foyer. She felt a mix of gratitude for her friend's kindness. Cara opens the door to see Michelle standing there. She's wearing a navy blue jumpsuit with a white star pattern and white heels. Hey, honey, happy 4th, Cara says, hugging Michelle. Michelle smiled warmly as Cara greeted her. She returns the hug and hands her a fruit salad. Hey, wow, everything looks so festive in here, she says, stepping into the house. Cara grinned, taking the fruit salad from Michelle and shutting the door behind her. I'm glad you like it. I really wanted to go all out this year. She led Michelle further into the backyard where other guests were mingling and enjoying the barbecue. As they walked together, Michelle noticed Liz sitting at the table looking a little lost in thought. Liz stands up, brushing off her dress as she hugs Michelle. Hey, happy 4th, she says softly. Happy 4th! You look gorgeous, Michelle says, sitting down next to Liz. Liz nodded slowly. Thank you. You do as well. Michelle smiled warmly. I'll have what she's having, she points to the glass as Cara stands by the bar. Oh yes, of course. Watermelon margaritas for everyone, she chuckled. Michelle immediately notices Liz's facial expressions. She knew something was wrong. She reaches out to hold her hand in comfort. Everything all right? She asked. Liz takes a deep breath and forces a weak smile. Yeah, I'm just going through a tough time right now, she replies softly. Michelle squeezes her hand reassuringly. You don't have to pretend everything's okay, Liz. I can see that something's bothering you, she says, her voice filled with concern. Michelle lights a cigarette and hands one to Liz. Maybe this will help you calm down. Liz lights the cigarette and takes a long breath as she taps her nails on the table. Well, since you're both here, she paused, looking down. You both are my closest friends. I just want you to know how grateful I am to have the two of you in my life. I appreciate how supportive you both are being, and I'm glad we have a strong connection. Since I served Michael last Friday, things have been pretty rocky, to say the least. When he got served, I wasn't home. I came home, and that's when he threw his tantrum. He threw a wooden chair at me, broke a glass, and cussed me out, she shrugged, looking up as she tried to find the right words. I know I'm doing the best for my kids, but I don't know if it's the best thing for us. We have a court date next month, and I'm getting ready to lay it all down, and not in a nice way. Michelle's eyes widened in shock and concern at Liz's story. Oh my God, Liz, that sounds absolutely terrifying, she said, putting a hand on her arm. I had no idea things had gotten that bad. Cara also looked stunned, shaking her head in disbelief. I can't believe he would treat you like that, she said, her voice full of sympathy. You and your kids deserve better than that. Liz hits the cigarette again, blowing the smoke away from the girls. The nicotine made her feel relaxed and less anxious as she spoke about the situation with her soon-to-be ex-husband. She sniffled as she continued. I know it sounds so scary, but I'm used to it. I didn't have the best example of a healthy relationship from my parents. My mother was married for 20 years before she got divorced, and she was also abused. I don't know if it's the fact that divorce runs in our family or if I'm just unlucky, but I don't like that feeling at all. Michelle and Cara exchanged a heartfelt glance, understanding the weight of Liz's upbringing and how it might affect her current situation. Cara gently touched Liz's arm, her voice filled with empathy. You know, Liz, it's never too late to break that cycle of unhealthy relationships. Just because your mom went through something similar doesn't mean you have to follow the same path. Michelle nodded in agreement, her expression filled with concern for her friend. Cara's right. You deserve to live a life free from abuse and toxicity. Liz took a moment to reflect on her friend's words. I know you're right, she said softly, but it's just so hard to uproot everything I've known for the past 12 years. Cara squeezed her hand reassuringly. I get it, honey. It's scared to start over, but you have to remember that you're not alone in this. You have us, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Michelle chimed in as well. And remember, Liz, your kids are watching you. They're learning from your actions and decisions. Liz nodded somberly, a mix of emotions playing across her face. I know. I think about that all the time. I don't want them to grow up thinking that relationships like the one I have with Michael are normal. I want them to see what a healthy relationship looks like. Cara reached over and placed a comforting hand on her knee. They will, honey. You're setting a strong example for them right now by making the difficult choice to stand up for yourself and leave an unhealthy situation. Liz took another puff of her cigarette, feeling a little bit more empowered after hearing her friend's kind words. Thanks, ladies. I really appreciate your support, she said, a small smile starting to form on her lips. Cara reached out to squeeze her hand again. Any time, Liz. That's what friends are for. Michelle chimed in, a glint of determination in her eyes. And remember, you're not just doing this for yourself. You're setting an example for your kids. Michelle cleared her throat with a chuckle as she hit her cigarette again. So, Cara, more people are coming, right? 'Cause not that I don't appreciate how small our circle is, I just want more company. Cara let out a soft chuckle, appreciating Michelle's straightforward nature. Oh, of course. More people are on their way, she reassured her with a grin. Christina and Bill, Tanya and Nicole, and Craig and Maria will be joining us. I'm keeping the circle small, just trying to avoid starting any drama, you know, she sighed, rolling her eyes. But don't worry, more fun and more food. Liz chuckled at Cara's words, appreciating her efforts to keep the gathering cozy and drama-free. Sounds perfect. Smaller is better sometimes, especially when it comes to avoiding unnecessary drama, she said. Michelle nodded in agreement, taking another drag of her cigarette. Agreed. And more food is always a win. Can't wait to dig in. Gionni will be firing up the grill when everyone gets here. I don't want people to miss out on a good burger or a hot dog, she chuckles again, her face turning a little pink. Liz smiled at the thought of some delicious grilled goodness. Oh, I can already taste those burgers and hot dogs, she said, her mouth watering a little. Cara laughed along with her, enjoying the lighter atmosphere. Gionni is a pro on the grill, she said with a grin. I don't think anyone will be left hungry, that's for sure. Liz chuckled at the mention of all the food and drinks. Looks like we've got everything covered, she said, taking another puff of her cigarette. Cara nodded, a satisfied smile on her face. That's what I'm talking about. Good food, good drinks, and good company. What more could we ask for? Michelle exhaled a puff of smoke, her eyes glinting with amusement. And let's not forget, lots of gossip and laughter. That's the cherry on top. Cara hears the doorbell echo throughout the house. Oop, 1 second, girls. She steps up from her seat and heads back into the house through the French doors of the living room. When she reaches the door, she sees Tanya and Nicole standing in the doorway. They are wearing matching American flag dresses and holding fresh-cut slices of watermelon in a big bowl. Hey, Cara, happy 4th, Tanya said, giving Cara a big hug. Hi, girls, happy 4th, she says, exchanging hugs with the two ladies. Tanya and Nicole follow Cara through her very patriotic hallway and out to the deck in the backyard where Liz and Michelle are sitting in silence. The two of them perk up when they notice Nicole and Tanya enter. Liz and Michelle couldn't help but smile as they see Tanya and Nicole in their matching outfits, holding slices of watermelon. The cheerful energy they bring into the backyard is a welcome distraction from the heavy conversation they just had with Cara. As the two ladies approach the table, Liz and Michelle greet them warmly. Hey, you two look great, Liz says, admiring their outfits. Tanya grins. Thanks, we wanted to get into the spirit of the holiday, she replies, setting down the watermelon bowl on the patio table. Liz is smoking a cigarette as she stands up and gives Tanya and Nicole a hug. As they all settle in and continue chatting, Gionni approaches the group with a wide smile on his face. Hey all, I'm just lighting the grill now. The burgers and hot dogs won't take long, he exclaimed. The girls all nodded, appreciating Gionni catering to their hunger needs. Cara hands Nicole and Tanya their margaritas and then heads into the pool house to see if Chris is ready to join them. She is still waiting for Craig and Maria and Christina and Bill, who will be a little late because they live in New York. Cara knocks on the glass door and waits patiently for Chris to see her. Chris stands up from the couch and opens the door. She's wearing a white hoodie and gray sweats. Hey, she says softly. She rubs her eyes as she looks into Cara's face. Hey, we're having our 4th of July celebration tonight. You're welcome to join us, even if you want to show up in that. Cara pursed her lips, hiding a chuckle as she pointed to Chris's couch potato fit. Okay, I'll see, she says, rubbing her neck. I'm fine just staying here for now. I mean, if that's okay. I just don't do well with seeing other people drinking and smoking since I've been sober. Chris nodded, forming a small smirk. No worries. I understand. Even if you want to join us later to see fireworks, that's okay too. Gionni went a little crazy with the boomers this year. Can't say I'm not excited, but I would really like to have you there with us, Cara smiled warmly. Thanks, I guess. Chris frowned. Sorry, Cara. I'm just not really feeling the holiday, I guess, she said, struggling to speak. No, that's totally okay. We'll be here all night, so don't hesitate to come join us, Cara said. Chris nodded and carefully closed the door on Cara. She returned to the couch and turned on the TV. Cara slumped, feeling defeated. She couldn't force or argue with Chris about her decision not to join the party. She's usually reluctant to forget about the alcohol and the smoking because she knows she's better off just enjoying and entertaining herself with conversation from the other guests. But instead of letting that situation get to her, Cara decided she just wanted to forget about it and try and have a nice holiday. She returned to the deck where Gionni was beginning to start serving burgers, hot dogs, and fries. He handed some medium rare burgers to Michelle and Liz and got the hot dogs started for Nicole and Tanya. Well, that was a bust, Cara chuckled to herself, sitting down next to Michelle. She doesn't want to join us? What's with her? Michelle questioned. Ugh, I don't know. Says she's not really feeling the holiday. I didn't want to pressure her to answer any questions, so I just let it ride and I'm hoping it won't get to me, Cara sighed, rubbing her eyes. She's usually willing to join us. Maybe she just needs some space right now. I don't know a single person in America that wouldn't want to celebrate the 4th of July, Cara nodded. What could she be hiding from us? Cara whispered, glancing at Gionni at the grill station. Maybe she's using again, Liz blurted out. Oh, stop it! No way! Cara could not believe Liz's assumption. I would be able to smell it, or something. I look through that pool house pretty frequently to make sure she's following the contract. I don't think she would do something like that to put our friendship into jeopardy. Cara raised her eyebrows. Meh, maybe she's just not feeling it, Tanya commented. I mean, think about it. If you weren't throwing this party, I don't think any of us would be celebrating the holiday. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe the crowd needs to be bigger. Maybe I should have invited some more people. I don't know, guys, Cara sighed. Don't regret your decisions, Michelle said, chewing a bite of her burger. I mean, I think it's a good thing to keep the circle small, especially because of what happened at your birthday party. Inviting Rebecca and Marnie would have been a shit show, think about it. And I'm so glad you're not inviting Don to any future parties this summer. We don't need that overhead. To be honest, Susan and Hillary ruined the mood. They're so nitpicky and have something to say about everything. I thought about inviting Jorge, but we haven't been talking. I think we're losing interest in one another. And Carol, Tom, Carla, and Brad? I don't know. They're all a real eyesore. They're kind of annoying these days. All they talk about is their kids and their over-the-top double dates. I wouldn't regret throwing a small party, Cara. Sometimes it's just nice to spend time with the people you're closest to. Michelle says, critiquing the guests Cara decides to invite to her parties. Wow, I had no idea you felt that way about all those people, Cara says, clutching her chest. Listen, I appreciate your honesty. I really do. I just don't know how all of this came about. Cara paused, looking for the right words. Her jaw was practically wide open after Michelle finished speaking. The other girls sat there in silence, staring at Michelle. Liz tried to finish eating her burger, but was more focused on the ashes of her cigarette. Jesus, I had no idea you didn't like all those people I invite. Why didn't you say something earlier? Cara was dumbfounded as she processed Michelle's comments. She couldn't believe that her friend had been harboring all these negative feelings about her guest list all this time and never said a word. Michelle chuckled loudly, covering her mouth. Oh, Cara, don't take it personally. I was just giving my opinion. Michelle covered her face to avoid stares. Cara shook her head, still reeling from Michelle's brutal honesty. I know you were just sharing your thoughts, but geez, I had no idea you felt that strongly about some of those people. Liz and Tanya both remained silent, listening intently to the conversation unfold. Nicole leans back, eyeing both Cara and Michelle. I mean, I would hate to disagree with you there, she paused. I haven't really gotten to know everyone because I've only been with Tanya for a short period of time, but a majority of what you're saying makes perfect sense, she nodded, continuing. For example, Christina and Bill strike me as an odd couple. You don't really hear too much of couples being in an open marriage or swingers for that matter. Susan and Hillary seem like they're always doing too much to please people. Like if they're really roommates, they need to act like it. They're constantly queer baiting from what I've observed, and it's annoying. Carol, Carla, and their husbands? I can do without the ass kissing. Rebecca and Marnie are just two sisters with a lot of problems. Don gives me a controlling vibe, which is not a good look for your boss. Michelle is just speaking the truth, if you ask me. Nicole shrugged, crossing her arms. Not inviting them doesn't change anything, Cara. Your parties are still decorated to perfection, and everyone always has an amazing time because of how organized everything is. You should give yourself more credit, Nicole smiled. Cara chuckled weakly, still stung by what she heard but also finding herself nodding in agreement with Nicole's assessments. It was true that the people she usually invited were a mixed bag, and there were moments when they rubbed her the wrong way, but it had never been spelled out so harshly before. Alright, maybe you have a point, Cara conceded, taking a gulp of her drink. I guess I just wanted to create a fun atmosphere for everybody, Cara sighed, feeling a mix of embarrassment and a touch of defensiveness creeping up inside her. And you still do, Michelle reassured her, placing a hand on her shoulder. We're just sharing our opinion. It's not meant to hurt your feelings. Liz nodded in agreement. Yeah, we're just being honest. You still throw amazing parties. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the honesty, and I mean, maybe it's a good thing. It doesn't hurt, and this was the perfect opportunity to share opinions, I guess, Cara sighed. Cara, sweetheart, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we have more guests at our door. Would you mind getting that? Gionni asked, coming back inside. Oh, yeah, of course, Cara said, standing up from her chair in a heartbeat. 1 second, excuse me, she says, running inside. Liz chuckled, folding her hands onto her lap. I guess you could say the truth hurts, she says. Yeah, you got that right, Tanya laughed. She was completely shocked at both Nicole and Michelle reading everyone like they were introductions in a novel. She needed to hear it at some point, especially if we're planning on keeping the circle small.